My name is Winters, and this is a guide to CrimeCraft. The topics of this guide have been split into 3 chapters. First, keyboard and mouse setup. Second, combat tactics. And third, gear and items. One of the first things that we should talk about is the controls. Controls, just like in any other game, whether it's an MMO, shooter, RTS, whatever, it needs to be a #1 priority to have your controls set up in a logical and efficient way. That's going to make you a better player, and it's going to allow you to win games and to make the game more enjoyable. So here's your keyboard. Like nearly every single other game, WASD are your central keys for your left hand. They control your character's movement. To be most efficient, you want to use the keys that are going to be close to your left hand. That way it's easier to press those keys, and so that it's less time to move your hand to the key. The first group of most comfortable keys to use when using a WASD setup are Q, E, R, C, and spacebar. Some common keybinds for these keys are using C for crouch, spacebar for jump, or in CrimeCraft's case, roll, R for reload, and E for knife. The next group of keys to easily access with your left hand are 1, F, X. X is a good key for using sprint. 1 and F are good for using boosts or grenades. As for your mouse, it provides you with 3 different clicks and a scroll for your right hand. Left click should definitely be used as your shooting button. Right click you can use for things like throwing a grenade or using a boost very quickly, such as a heal boost. Your center click is really good for zoom. It also has center scroll, which is good for swapping weapons very quickly. A quick note about swapping weapons: you should really only have one way of swapping, whether that's using the number keys above WASD or using the scroll. I prefer scroll. I think it's more effective, but you should only really have one way. That way your hands don't get confused, you don't misclick or something like that. Now that you have an idea of what your controls should be like, let's move on to the interesting stuff: combat tips and tricks and tactics. One of the most important tactics in both PvE and PvP is using cover. The smaller of a target you can be, the better. This goes for all types of weapons that you're fighting against, but it's especially effective versus weapons that have large spray radius, such as shotguns, LMGs, and SMGs. You want to be able to use all the different parts of the terrain to your advantage. You want to be able to hug walls and duck and crouch behind different things on the terrain. Knifing is another important tactic to be familiar with while in both PvE and PvP. You're going to want to be able to execute all 3 of the different types of knife styles and use them effectively in combat. The first type of knife is the basic knife. It's fast and great finishing. The second knife movement is the defensive knife. And finally there's the jump knife attack. It does a massive amount of damage, which is great for one-shotting most players, and it also is very effective for evading as well. Another concept to keep in mind is the different run speeds involved equipped with different weapons. This is especially important when you need to reach an objective very quickly. Zooming is another important topic to discuss. It seems simple, but it actually is done incorrectly all the time. With zooming, you're going to want to zoom when the crosshairs are near the target, and you're going to want to unzoom quickly after eliminating the target. Reloading is of course also very important. You're going to want to reload often, and you're going to want to do this behind cover and at a distance. If you're confronted while reloading, remember that you have your knife to use. One last thing to remember is to be aware of your surroundings. You want to know what is around you at all times. You don't ever want to be surprised if someone is attacking from the side or from behind. And you also want to be sure to use your ears. You want to listen for where the shots and explosions are coming from. You want to listen for footsteps, and you also want to listen for people coming out of stealth. The last thing we'll be covering is gear and items. Armor is a very important part of this game. When choosing armor, you want to take into consideration the resist that the armor provides and also the bonuses that that armor gives. All of your resists are important, but light and splash are among the most important resists for your character. Having high light and splash resist is going to prevent you from getting one shot from shotguns, rocket launchers, proximity mines, and that sort of thing. Out of all the bonuses that you can receive on your armor, minus body shot percent and absorption are the most important. This diagram will help you better visualize what is considered a headshot, a body shot, and a leg shot. You can see that body shot takes up the largest portion and is obviously going to be the best thing to defend. This diagram will give you a general idea of how absorption works. Basically, damage is received and a portion of it is subtracted because of absorption. Absorption is especially effective versus shotguns, SMGs, and low damage assault rifles. The reason for this is those weapons use many small bullets being shot all at once to inflict a lot of damage. And if you're absorbing a large portion of each of those tiny damage bullets, then you're going to be reducing a significant amount of damage. Boosts are a very important part of CrimeCraft. They enable your character to take more damage through increased resistances or increased health or absorption. They can also give you more stamina to run further or increase your damage, among other things. It's important to test and experiment the different types of boosts that are on the vendors. It is important to always have ammo equipped on all of your guns. Ammo will give you extra damage and many extra bullets. It's especially important when using heavy weapons because the damage increase is very large. The best way to get good items like boosts, guns, and ammunition is to go to a gang party, which you can find on your map and select, and it'll highlight it on your screen. Once you're there, you'll find all sorts of boosts, guns, ammunition, and other types of items from levels 1 to level 40. Constantly buying ammo and boosts can get expensive, so make sure you have a profession or two, and be sure to sell the items that you create in that profession on the auction house, along with any other items that you don't need. Also, doing payphone jobs and having bonus to cash AUG will also help you. Once you start getting great items, you're going to want to keep them for as long as possible. For this reason, you're going to need to know a couple things about repairing. Over time, your items will start losing durability. It's important to wait a while to repair because when you do repair, your total durability permanently will go down, and so you get the most out of your items if you wait to repair. Well, that concludes my guide. I hope it was helpful to you, and thank you for watching.